Om Shri Paramatmane Namah. In this path of spirituality, there are certain essential requirements. If somebody does not fulfill them, there is almost no progress or very little progress on the path. The first and perhaps one of the most important, maybe the foremost requirement, is what they have called as to have a vyavasayatmika buddhi in Sanskrit, in the Bhagavad Gita. That is, to have a determinate intellect, a definite decision. That is the first requirement, and the foremost also. They say, the saints say, that thought is the distinguishing feature of mankind, and therefore through thought human beings should first of all decide a fundamental question. And the fundamental question is as to whether there is some specific purpose of human life. This is the fundamental question. Because only human beings have been endowed with the faculty of thought, reasoning, intellect, decision taking. Therefore, the most important question for their thought, consideration, decision is to know whether there is some specific purpose of human life. That should be the first question. After passing through many stages, meeting many people, reading many books, analyzing in one's own existence many issues, removing one's own doubts at different places in different ways, someday the answer to this question would be yes, there is a specific purpose of human life. And that specific purpose is nothing but to know your own self. Only human beings can know their own self, what they really are. Therefore, it is the purpose of human life. Self-knowledge, self-realization is the purpose of human life. And when a person is convinced about it, then the next thing should be that, well, when I have come to this conclusion, this is the only thing in my life that I want to achieve. That is known as to have a determinate intellect, a definite decision. When a person comes to know that it is useless to know anything about the world unless I have known my own self, what is the use of collecting so much information about others unless I know myself? It is useless. I should know myself. Who am I? When somebody is convinced about this purpose of human life, and one has to be convinced someday, in this life, next life, some life. There is no other way out also. Because permanent peace and happiness would never be there without the solution of this question, without having the answer to this question. So when somebody is convinced about it, then the next thing should be that, well, I am convinced about it, and now this is the only purpose of my life. The saints say that when somebody has decided like this, that this is the only purpose of my life, then the real progress starts. Nothing in life is achieved without totality of commitment. Totality of commitment. One has to forget everything except that objective which is to be achieved. Only then some progress is there. If you read the autobiographies or biographies of famous people, you will come to know about it, how they became famous and successful. Only one thought always in the mind, and the whole existence for the execution of the thought. Then it happens. You forget everything then. When this is the case, even about the worldly achievements, the so-called achievements, which I call no achievements, you have to think what sort of commitment is required for the highest achievement in the whole universe, beyond which there is nothing. There should be that definite decision. This is the thing I have to achieve, and I will live for it, and I will die for it. My life is for it. Those people who have the idea that if favorable circumstances happen to me after some time, then I will start the spiritual path, they never start. They can never. Because they want the favorable circumstances of their own choice, of their own imagination. They are not going to happen. There was a great saint. He would listen people coming to him, whatever they used to say, but generally he would not speak. After listening everybody, from his side there was always one thing. Different people saying different things to him, listening silently. When they have finished, from his side he would say only one thing to all. After the person has finished saying his problems and all that, calmly he would ask, is that all? Yes, that's all. Probably they thought that now he will tell us the solution of our problems. He would never. From his side there was only one thing. He used to ask, have you taken your breakfast today? Or lunch, whatever the time, according to the time the person came to visit. From everybody. They were saying, yes sir, I have taken. I see. And you have arrangement for the dinner or the lunch with you? Oh yes, I have. Then what the fool are you doing except remembering God? You say you have taken the breakfast, you say you have the arrangement for your dinner, and have you the guarantee you will remain alive till tomorrow? Making plans and doing this and that. Everybody was shocked. There is great truth in this. We are losing time for tomorrow. Every one of us is a fool when thinking too much about tomorrow. It's all right, you have to travel tomorrow, you will see your ticket, that's all right, what time the flight goes and you have the taxi, but tomorrow I will do this and that. This is all useless things. You see? The saints are of their own type, different saints. They realize people have their own way of life. As I explained the other day, the way of their training and teaching are different. The inner experience is the same. God comes to us, the same God comes to us in different manner. So anyway, by this I want to emphasize, unless the totality of energy, physical, mental, emotional, the totality of existence is focused on a certain objective, it is not realized. Quite a large number of people, even in the spiritual field, have spirituality as a sort of hobby classes. In the university, there are hobby classes. When I was in the university, I used to teach what the subject, whatever was there, but there were some hobby classes also. Anybody can come to the hobby classes in the evening for 1 hour or 2 hours. People are having hobby classes for this spirituality. When everything is finished, let us go to some satsang somewhere now for half an hour or 1 hour. It is not going to happen anything like that. So this is one of the most important things, to have a definite decision. This is the purpose of life. And in this life, I will live for it, I will die for it, if need be. Then everything will start changing. Once you decide a thing definitely, every part of your life, every activity, every thought starts changing.